What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Ulysses. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Yoshii. Oh, I love this matchup. Loki versus Zeus is one of the most chaotic matchups because the Zeus player wants to go with a hyper immobile army that can just destroy everything. And the Loki player wants to go with a hyper mobile army. Did I say hyper? Thank you so much for the raiding party, Matrius. Welcome. I was mid-thought, but it's good to see you streaming and doing good things. I hope your games went well. And welcome everyone from Matrius to stream. If you don't know who Matrius is, where have you been? Go look at his Twitch, hit the follow button, and check out his gameplay because he is nutty. Anyways, the point that I was making was that Zeus has a hyper immobile army in Hoplite, Toxotes, Minotaur. And heroes. That's kind of the bread and butter. The reason you want this army is because the Hoplites act as siege weapons in the classical age, and you can just kind of go in a straight line and just tear everything down that's in your path. Loki, on the other hand, is a very mobile army because you want to go Herser. So, Herser with Hall of Fanes can do their stuff. So he can kind of run around, hit raids, and because the Zeus army is so immobile, you're going to be getting a lot of damage done with your Herser. So essentially, this matchup comes down to the Loki player getting value out of his mobility, and also from the Zeus player making really, really good decisions for his villagers. That's all he needs. That's the big one. All right, so villagers moving forward onto the granary, doing all the good stuff, and we'll see how it's all going to go. We've got the relic over here, Grugnir, Odin's Spear, extra 5%. Oh, that's a beautiful relic there for Ulysses. This one is going to be giving extra 5% bonus damage to those hoplites, which means more damage to the enemy buildings, more damage to the enemy Herser, and all the good stuff. Temple coming up now for Yoshii, as he's going to be finishing up this Auroch. It's a decent amount of hunt on this map. We've got ourselves a deer pack. We've got ourselves a boar pack over here. We've got caribou. We've got Aurochs. Competitive Mega Random is very Mega Random in the fact that you can have an assortment of different food qualities and you can just enjoy the life where that is. All right. Deer's getting pushed in here as well. We do have the spy right now on this food situation. It's really, really important for the Loki players to be getting the knowledge of exactly where enemy buildings are getting put, where enemy villages are, because if you know where your opponents is going to be placing their barracks, going to be placing their archery range, going to be placing their villages, you have somewhere to attack. As Forsetti is on the way now for Yoshii. Going to be a 4 minute, 15 second advance time. Did he get double Ulfsark? I don't think he did. He's just got himself the standard amount of villages for dwarves, for gatherers on wood, and only 6 villages on food. So normally it's 7, but it doesn't really matter that much. Athena on the way now for Ulysses. I would probably say this is slightly late, though Ulysses did go for the forward hunt here. Now, one thing that you might want to think about doing if you're going for a 430 with Zeus against Loki is actually getting Olympic parentage, because you will be floating roughly 200 food in the early game. There's no way for you to spend it. It's just not possible. Maybe if the Herser comes and pushes you off, maybe you won't be able to afford the Olympic parentage. But if you gather for the entirety of the time, you will have enough resources. This should be bolted here, but we'll see what Ulysses is going to do. The reason why Olympic parentage is such a good idea is because those early game heroes are going to be able to help defend very, very nice. We are seeing Yoshii being very, very annoying over here, trying to take out this deer as it's getting pushed away. That is worth favor there. It gives him 0.48 favor, which is going to allow an earlier Hall of Fanes, as Athena does come through. By Jason and Odysseus coming down. Archery Range Military Academy getting dropped here, as the units are continuing to try and push these bad boys away. And there's the troll moving in onto this position. The Jason moving forward. The villagers not really doing all too much. And you can see that that food is actually in right now. So Olympic parentage definitely an option but deciding against that one there. Bolting one of those. Hersa, Odysseus coming in. Hoplites coming through. These are 4 villagers currently trained. That's resources spent, apparently. As the troll comes through, going to start hitting some of these units. Got to get that Odysseus to target the troll down because this villager will get taken out. Ulysses attempting to micro this one, is pulling away nicely as the troll gets caught out here. This villager going to be returning back home. Doesn't want to be losing that one there as the heroes do manage to push Yoshii back. He's not yet lost too much. He did lose one her, so definitely not something you want to be doing in the early stages of the game. But Yoshii going to be able to get out. He's got himself his 13 favor. And does he have Hall of Fames coming through? It's the big question. It looks like he does not have Hall of Fames coming through. Only 160 wood in the bank as well. So I'm not sure why that is. Normally you would have roughly 300 wood right now and be getting yourself well on the way to Hall of Fames here, as the army going to come through and start hitting these villages in the middle of the map. This is not good for Yoshii. You definitely don't want to be in the middle of the map with your units gathering food. Definitely somewhere else would be preferable here, as the Katoskopos coming in over here will end up getting taken down as the healing spring gets dropped. Another longhouse getting dropped down as well as the villagers are getting chased away. The Hearse are going to be looking for some villager kills. There are still 5 villagers in the middle of the map here, getting as much damage done onto those deers as he possibly can. So looking for something to deal with. One villager will end up falling there. A little bit of unfortunate pathing for Yoshii, as the Minotaur does manage to pick one of those off. There's not a whole lot of goat on the map, but he can move over onto the bottom of the map to grab that hunt down there if he so chooses. Right now, Yoshii's going to be kicking himself for building his houses like this. One of the really important things to do against Zeus, as Loki and Odin and Thor, is to actually put your houses really close to your town center. So you have one ring of farms roughly, and then you put your house just around there in a kind of box. And that way it's really, really tough for your opponent to just push in and get free houses. So they have to at least trade a hoplite or two for a house. As Ulysses is going to be pushing back in here. We do have a assortment of units created by Yoshii. I don't like the raiding cavalry one bit from Yoshii. These could have been Hersa, and I don't mind throwing Axemen if you want to go Hersa. Throwing Axemen into a delayed Hall of Fames makes a lot of sense against the Athena army. As we are seeing these Hersa are going to be looking to move in and take down some units here. Yoshii's going to be looking for a myth unit spawn here, I'm sure, as the villager is coming through. Nice micro there from Ulysses. He manages to pull back. This villager with 2 HP right now is going to have to get pulled back into his base or something. We're starting to see the raiding cavalry pushing forward, looking for something to take out. A handful of units are sitting back here defending, so it's not going to be free kills for him at all here. Has Yoshii gone for some food elsewhere? I don't see that, as the raiding cavalry are going to push in here, try and take down some units, taking a little bit of damage here. The Hersa retreating away could turn around and take this fight here, as we got villagers on multiple different wood lines here. Yoshii just building those dwarves at the moment. He's got a lot of villagers or dwarves on gold, potentially too many. And he is definitely going to have to fight for a second gold mine here. All the gold on the bottom side of the map here as a raiding cavalry looking for something to take down. The Hersa do scare the Hoplite and Toxotes off here, as both those units going to be returning back to their home here. Ulysses getting himself watchtowers makes a lot of sense. Still has plenty of gold left in his base. Jumping onto this granary over here, not going to be playing too crazy, as he doesn't need that many villagers over here on the hunt, taking a big risk being here. But Hall of Fames finally coming through for Yoshii in the 8-minute 36-second mark. He's only got himself 7 Hersa though, so it's a little bit of a lackluster amount there. As now we see Ulysses targeting down those weak houses we were talking about a little bit earlier, but the throwing axeman moving forward, trying to get a little bit of damage done onto those units. The Toxotes is able to take down the throwing axeman really, really fast though, as Yoshii tries to push in here 60% of the way through with his Hall of Fames, as the raiding cavalry do manage to get onto these villagers. Going to be able to take them down one by one. Ulysses does turn around, takes this fight here, going to start shanking away. There's only 3 villagers currently fighting over here, so they're mostly going to be getting picked off, as a couple more raiding cavalry going to be pushing in onto this position here. Another villager over here might be going down. Nice play there from Yoshii, as Ulysses gets dragged in on the front here as well, as Yoshii is doing a nice job kind of deflecting the pressure. Not only that, we now see dwarves moving over onto this gold mine. There's no Pegasus out from Ulysses. I've talked about this once. I'll say it a million times. If you go for an Athena rush, knowing where your opponent's villages is invaluable. 50 food, 2 favor is well worth it to be scouting out this map for the remainder of the game, because it's really, really hard for a Norse player to pick those Pegasus off. And we are seeing Ulysses taking down more of these houses. And you can see that this house right now, while it does go down pretty fast, he will end up losing a hoplite for it. So at least you're trading 40 wood for 90 resources where that's concerned there, and the unit's retreating away. So this house here, built in a correct position, gets in value. These 3 houses here, not so much. As Yoshii returns back home, we do have 5.72 speed on these Herso right now, as Yoshii should be thinking about just leaving his base and trying to get as much pressure done onto Ulysses' villages as he possibly can. And now Ulysses swinging around here, trying to deal with these throwing axemen. Nice look at that micro there, splitting up his Toxotes beautifully, trying to take down these units as best as he possibly can. He is losing units to the town center by doing this, but while this is happening, we can see the units pushing over, checking out this gold mine. He should know it's there. 10 minutes, 36 seconds into the game. It's going to force a fight, and guess what? Ulysses still has ceasefire remaining. We see the raiding cavalry chasing down the throwing, not the throwing axemen, the Toxotes here. The villagers over on this location, as well as we do see Herso coming in to try and take down those units over there. The raiding cavalry will get in onto these Toxotes. The Toxotes are in a decent position right now. Nice micro there from Yoshii, dodging the Toxotes nicely here, as we are going to be seeing these hoplites getting picked off here. They do have medium hoplites. We see a restoration coming through, as multiple different fronts currently being an issue for Yoshii, and he's going to continue taking this fight. The units pushing back, the raiding cavalry coming in to try and get onto those Toxotes over here. A nice Valkyrie spawn here for Yoshii, as Yoshii's very low on the resources, needs another house, but he's actually looking like he's managed to defend for the time being. Ulysses is going to be coming back in and continuing this fight, as the throwing axeman going to be able to deal with these hoplites nicely here. We are seeing the units retreating away. Ulysses trying to use this high ground to his advantage. Unfortunately, I don't think it's high enough for the elevation bonus to come into effect, but now we see Yoshii coming through with his army. Will he get us around here or not? It looks like Ulysses is going to be attempting to retreat away. Does turn around here. He gets those hoplites coming in onto the front to get a whole bunch of damage, but the raiding cavalry coming around the back. We even have a random dwarf in the middle here trying to get involved, as the army getting absolutely cleaned here, it would seem, as Yoshii gets a really, really good engagement and forces Ulysses back. It's still even population. Village differential is gigantic though, as Yoshii is at 27 villages and Ulysses is at 42 villages. So Ulysses going to be having to retreat back. He's got plenty of resources in the bank. He's got himself 3 military buildings, just 3. So he needs to be getting a few more in order to spend those resources that he has. And if he continues to be putting on pressure, he's just going to get further and further ahead here, as we see these units retreating back. Throwing axemen here for Yoshii, sitting in a really, really good position. We do see some cheeky raids coming over here, going to be trying to take down some of these units, and Yoshii's just kind of chasing them all the way back. We do see that Ulysses has managed to pick off the ox cart there, being very, very annoying. Ulysses has got to be fairly aware that if he moves in onto this position and takes out this hunt, he's in a really, really good spot. Not only that, Ulysses can actually now go through Apollo here, hit this location with an underworld, and also get out the Heracles in order to get a really, really big advantage with the Manticore as well, in order to take down these throwing axemen. Alternatively, the other option is to just go Hera and then do exactly the same thing, except Underworld into Lightning Storm, with also the Medusa and Bellerophon to boot, as we are starting to see some extra raids coming through from Yoshii, picking off these villagers over here that are going to be retreating away. The Valkyrie is enough to scare those villagers off. The Ulfsuck does manage to finish off that villager. The other villagers should probably get away with their lives. The throwing axemen doing a nice job defending, but Yoshii's just got no food economy right now. It's all the villagers moving over onto this gold mine over here, and this is looking very, very difficult for Very, very difficult for Yoshii here as he's taking out the villagers as best as he can to slow down Ulysses. But Ulysses has just got such an advantage in the villager count right now that it doesn't even matter. And not only that, the fact this is mass throwing axemen makes Manticore incredibly scary, as we are seeing Ulysses pushing back in onto this position. He sees the army is here. He loses a handful of units as he's pulling back. Do we see any attempt at a Pegasus? Not just yet. The raiding cavalry, Valkyrie roaming around here as the Jason is back to push that one away. As Apollo does end up hitting here for Ulysses. We see the armory coming down for Yoshii. Yoshi's got a ways to go in order to find himself enough food here to get to the next age. And this is where things are going to be difficult, because Ulysses has kind of got, he can do whatever he wants here, but he's doing the right thing. He's doing the safe thing. This is a classic Zeus strategy right now. This is strictly meta, we would call this one. This is a strategy that's been being utilized for some years now with Zeus to a lot of effect. And the idea is Athena, one town center into Hera very, very fast. And that's going to allow you to effectively destroy your opponent's army and get a gold staff of some variety here. So we are seeing the dwarves pushing forward. There's Hera coming through. Ulysses sells all of that wood, clicks up. He's going to be putting some pressure in over here as the army very much out of position. An underworld over here will be able to pick off those dwarves, but I guess Yoshi's pretty happy with the 800 gold that he's got here. And he does decide to go in onto this position. Going to be hitting these villagers over here. The villagers immediately going to be retreating away, however. There's a stray Toxotes, or a stray throwing axeman gets picked off by the Toxotes there. And now Yoshii has to figure out where he wants to go. But Yoshii, smartly right now, is just saying, I got to get to the heroic age, I got to get to the heroic age, I got to get to the heroic age. Flaming weapons here might be a saving grace, but lightning storm is lightning storm. So we'll see how it's going to go as the armory getting taken down here fairly quickly. We do have ourselves most importantly, the Manticore, but all those Toxotes, as well as the Odysseus here, to turn around and try and take down those hammer trolls. As Ulysses does pull back. Currently, we do have a gold mine over here, which Yoshii can jump onto if he so chooses after he finishes off this Auroch and advances to the next age. But the impending lightning storm that's coming for Yoshii is very, very scary here. As Ulysses pushes forward, we will be seeing the hammer troll getting taken down. But this engagement here is going to be absolutely brutal. Lightning Storm will immediately get thrown down onto this position. The throwing axemen are going to be attempting to retreat away, but they're going to be way too slow as the population for Yoshii absolutely plummets here. And he's still losing more and more of these units. Even loses a hammer troll there, and Yoshii drops down to 66 population. He is going through Bragi, does lose a handful of dwarves over here, or maybe just the one dwarf, as the dwarf's going to be retreating away, but Ulysses is on the warpath trying to catch up to this location. We see a town center coming through over here. The Medusa does get caught out, but we do have some Hephaestus in here, which might be able to pick off the Hersa before the Medusa goes down. That's pretty brutal there. A little bit unfortunate for Yoshii there, because it looked like he was maybe going to be able to deal with that one. But Ulysses with a crazy score lead right now. Town center coming up, flaming weapons getting dropped, and Yoshii tapping out, realizing that no gold, no units, no hope here in this game. Ulysses, a fairly by-the-book game in a big way here. You do have to ask the question, what would have happened if maybe Yoshii went a little bit more aggressive with his Hersa, maybe got Hall of Fans a little bit earlier, maybe didn't go for those raiding cavalry, which did seem a little bit lackluster, and maybe went off to the side of the map instead of the middle of the map for this hunt first, maybe up to the top corner here. Not getting pushed off the second hunt very early is super important for Loki in this matchup, and Yoshii just falling behind and just not really being able to catch back up here. Ulysses, too good, too strong. We do still have potentially another couple of games remaining in this series. It's the best of 5, so first to 3, Ulysses will be on game point. If you guys are enjoying these games, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.